WIMG 1300 on the AM dial. And if you're watching, it's via WPHY, Channel 25 in Mercer County, New Jersey. And over the internet, WIMG1300.com. You're listening to the program, today's topic, on Trenton Talks. And it's taken me a little while to get used to. It's a little bit of a tongue twister for me, but we're going to work it all out. So I've got a couple of guests with me tonight who are doing some cool things in the local community and looking to bring about some positivity in the capital city of Trenton, New Jersey. Ladies first, introduce yourself and tell me where you're from and a brief history.
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Ericka Pressley. I am from Trenton, New Jersey. Briefly went to Baltimore, Maryland for school. Got involved with promoting, started Pretty Business Promotions, doing mixtapes, Club Phoenix when it was Club Phoenix. Branched off to radio with Jacque Radio. Now I'm doing web shows, Pretty Business TV at the Trenton Social.
Awesome. Shout out to Jacque, reggae music.
All of that.
Yeah.
And Will, and yourself, please.
My name's Will Foskey, born and raised in Trenton, New Jersey. Love my city. Co-founder of the Trenton Going Global movement. Journalist, former writer for the Trentonian, former writer for allhiphop.com. Currently working on poetry and different things of that nature. Joint venture with Pretty Business Promotions with Ericka here. We do a PB Tuesdays. We also have a Pretty Business television show that we've done about 8 episodes so far. And it actually posts every Monday on Trentonian.com.
All right, fantastic. So thanks for sharing a little bit of information about yourselves and where you're from. So it sounds like there's a mutual interest in, and I don't like this terminology, and forgive me for a lack of a better term, like urban music or urban culture. I know that we all share that same interest. Can you talk a little bit about your background with music?
Well, first of all, writing has always been my love. I just didn't know what to do with it. So going to Trenton Central High School, being around, teachers like Dr. Long and everything like that, we had that love for writing, that creative energy, that poetry, that, let's write a story right now, right on the drop of the dime, and what that turned for me in the cafeterias, it turned into banging on the tables and everybody wanting to get into hip hop and different things of that nature because we felt that was the best way to be able to tell our stories. So as time went along, and I realized how whack I was as a rapper. Most of us are. Some of us get to it a little early. Luckily, I did. And at the age of 25, I got into journalism. Things started going well with that. Started at the bottom. 2 years down the line, next thing you know, I'm interviewing everybody from John Legend to, sitting down with Diddy to sitting down with Swiss Beats. And just about everybody in industry. L.A. Reid, Babyface. So many different people that I was able to sit down with, just a local boy from Trenton, handling business. But, urban is a part of us. Just, that fast society, moving, that energy, going up back and forth from New York to Philly, being in Trenton makes it just ideal to be able to be in the middle of both big places and being able to hold our own in those big cities. So
fantastic. We're going to get into a little bit more about your journalism and about some of your other projects in a bit. But Ericka, let's talk to me a little bit about your experience with music, and you threw out a name, Jacque.
Right.
For the folks who understand reggae in this area, understand that Jacque's got for years has been the preeminent DJ for reggae music in this area. But just talk a little bit about your experience with the music.
Well, my story isn't as fabulous as the shares, unfortunately. Awesome. But growing up, me and my brother, my oldest brother, we're definitely musically inclined. He's a rapper still, doing that to this day. I am very shy, so of course I tried to sing and tried to dance, but it went as far as I have a love for music that's like unquestionable. So it wasn't a thing for me to it was natural for me to want to go into radio and to, give my opinions on what I think is hot or not, or who's a favorite rapper or an artist. Getting older, aside from radio, the web show is not based on urban music at all. So it's the transition from, seeing what's out there, having a history, having a knowledge on it, speaking on it, but going in a different direction as well. Based on urban, but not so much focused on music because that's too broad. Like,
Yeah, I think age-wise, I've got you guys by a little bit, but the whole crossover idea from years ago, 10, 15 years ago. Prior to that, I remember it was a big deal when Living Color came out and they were playing rock music,
Yes.
and how much of a difficulty they had with even getting opportunities to perform live,
Right.
and to see a short time later, was that 25 years later, 30 years later, there's no colors. I mean, there's just as many
Right.
people from different backgrounds doing different types of music.
Yes.
So God bless the fact that we've got a global economy, and we're all looking at life from a global standpoint.
Yes.
I'm sitting down today on today's topic, Trenton Talks, with two local entrepreneurs. I think it's fair enough to say that.
Very fair.
Two talented, educated, artistic Trentonians, Will Foskey, who started Trenton Going Global, and Ericka Pressley, who is working with Pretty Business.
I'm the founder.
I
Pretty
apologize.
Business Promotions.
Pretty Business Promotions,
Who hosts a web show,
and
PBTV,
and
on
you can also
Trentonian.com.
Trentonian.com. So if you go to Trentonian.com, Pretty Business Promotions will be listed there. There's a link there, and we're talking a little bit about journalism and art and culture. Here in the city of Trenton. Both of you have been doing some wonderful things as far as shining energy and energy and eyes on the positive aspects of things that are happening here in Trenton. So, Ericka, you go first. Just share a little bit about your vision for the positive things that are happening here.
Okay, my vision for the show, Pretty Business TV, where we exploit everything pretty and expose the not so pretty. That basically means exploiting all positive outlets that we can with the city of Trenton. There's so many things being broadcasted, violence, negative, even music that's not, doesn't have a positive message. So I wanted to get away from all of that with my show. I wanted to just bring on people who I didn't know about, the artists, the artworks building. So I just wanted to get more people involved in outside the box. The people who love rap, I want them to hear a different artist who's urban, who's from Trenton, but they would have no idea. So I just wanted to bring more of that like community feeling, networking, bringing everyone together and not just based on rap music. So that's what the show is about.
Awesome. And Will?
Well, it's very simple. I mean, being from Trenton and knowing our history and knowing, how much, not just energy but knowledge that we have. The rose from the concrete, so to speak. There's a lot of roses here. So we definitely wanted to focus on every rose that we could, while also exposing ourselves to new people. Because although Trenton is only about 5 miles wide, that's just the city. Greater Trenton expands far beyond where we are. So to be able to do this show and basically show it to, to the college in New Jersey, and for them to be interested in us coming up there to do a show as well, is beautiful, because now we're getting to see who the stars are here, which over the years, our local papers aren't really covering who our greats are, and there's a lot of great people handling business here. So we want to make sure whoever falls through the cracks, we bring them on our show.
Fantastic. And that's a good, nice segue to just almost like a PSA. Folks, you can keep your eyes and ears open for the Trenton Arts and Entertainment Hall of Fame, which is a process that is being started by Exit 7A, Scott Miller. And that just recently got approval through City Council here in Trenton. So keep your eyes open for that. 2013 is going to be the inaugural year of that event, where we can start shining some more light on all the wonderful arts and entertainment folks who have had a base here in Trenton, or have left Trenton and gone on to become larger things and making a big movement into the arts and entertainment community. Will, starting with you, can you just give some contact information so the listening and viewing audience can have that?
Well, contact information, you can contact me on Google. We all have one of those. So that's Willie, Willie, Foskey, F as in Frank, O S as in Sam, KEY, @gmail.com. On Twitter, you can type in @DeShare, which is D as in David, E S as in Sam, H as in Harry, AIR. Basically, type in DeShare on everything, and you'll find that's pretty much for Instagram. That's for, you may be able to find me on Facebook and a lot of my articles that are online.
And soon you'll see my little write-up on him on the Trenton 350 blog. Ericka, some contact information for you, ma'am.
Sure. Facebook, Ericka Pressley, ERICKA, Pressley, PRESSLEY. You can also go to Facebook for Pretty Business Television, Pretty Business Television, all the same spelling as it should be. Twitter, Pressley Girl 1, as well as Instagram, Pressley Girl. Trentonian, just go type in Ericka Pressley and everything will come up.
Fantastic. We're up against a break now, and I've been speaking with Ericka Pressley, who is the founder of Pretty Girl Promotions, and Will Foskey, who is the founder of Trenton Going Global, who's also a journalist. They've been sharing some of the positive things that are happening in the city of Trenton around the arts and entertainment field. And after the break, we're going to get into some more information and let the listening audience and viewing audience get a chance to hear a little bit more about them. So you've been listening to today's topic on Trenton Talks. I'm your host, Jacque Howard, WIMG 1300 AM, WIMG1300.com, and WPHY Channel 25, Mercer County, New Jersey. Be right back. Age that you are a journalist, that you are a writer. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Some things come easily, and every person has that thing that comes easy to them, and writing just happened to be that one thing that came easy to me. I wasn't thinking about my report cards being 100 every time. I wasn't thinking about how simple it was for me to be able to write a story or to write a poem or to be able to have an understanding for, comprehension and just different ways of life. So it was just, writing for me was just a passion, and we all have to find it. I look at the youth often and I wonder, with our education level in the city, with the tenacity or lack thereof with parents, bringing up their children, the right way, are these children finding their passion? So we have a lot of people that are walking around lost, whether they're a teenager or an adult or middle life crisis. So basically, it's very important that we find that passion and we move with it. So writing has always been that for me.
Yeah. Before the break, you said that there was an instructor, professor, teacher that actually did some good for you when you were in school at Trenton Central High. Is that correct?
Yes.
And who was that?
That was Dr. Long. I believe many of us over the past 20 to 30 years know of Dr. Long and how important he was. Just through getting people into poetry and getting us into knowing our style of writing. Different styles, different formats, and basically being ourselves through our work and telling our stories through our work. So, we all remember the great teachers, the ones who spent a lot more time with you, that knew you need a little bit more guidance or saw something in you that you can be able to grow towards. And, he was one of the many people there at Trenton Central High School that I remember. I graduated in 96, so. Well,
that's great to hear. So what do you love most about being a Trentonian?
What I love about being a Trentonian is that we're real. Since so many things come at us from so many different directions, and we're forced to question everything around us because we know we deserve better. And sometimes we look at these numbers and we say, well, why aren't we winning? One of my colleagues from Pittsburgh called me yesterday. He was like, yeah, I just heard that Trenton is the 5th wealthiest metropolitan area in the country. I was like, yeah, I heard that 3 years ago, but thanks for getting in touch with me. So he was like, so what's going on down there? I was like, well, one of the main points is that we have a lot of people making money here that don't live here, and if we can be able to keep the tax dollars here, then people can start to see the actual city of Trenton begin to prosper. They can see the education begin to lift because those tax dollars are going into our education, and we're not desperately hung on to federal funding, for our kids. People feel more involved because they're paying into the system,
So I've been talking with Will Foskey, and as you can see, he's a writer, he's an intellectual, but he's someone who's got a very good grip on who he is as an individual, which makes a big difference. Some contact information for Will is Willie, WILLIE .Foskey, FOSKEY at Gmail, and you can also just Google, and I believe this is there's some sort of acronym involved with it, or Deshair, DESHAIR. What's the meaning behind that?
Well, Deshair was just something that it's a two-pronged story. One part was You know, a little over 5 years ago, I was on a taxi ride from the train station over to when I was living out in Hamilton on Cooser Road. And there was a big soccer event that was going on the next day. And the taxi driver was like, so are you going to the soccer event tomorrow? And I was like, no, why would I be going to the soccer event? I'm not into it. He's like, you're Haitian, right? And I was like, am I? He was like, I can see it in you. You're Haitian. I never knew it. You know, so I went on Ancestry.com and started doing some things and realized both sides of my family linked back to Haiti. You know, so from there, the other part was people will always ask me, what are you doing? What are we doing? So this year is like, what are you doing right now? So this year is actually this year.
That's right.
You know, in pronunciation. So whenever someone's talking to me, they're reminding themselves and me, what are we doing right now? So it's a double thing in trying, you know, just, you know, learning background and wanting to feel like, wow, can I have something that sounds more on the side of, you know, a little, you know, more Haitian, more of that root type deal. And then plus just always reminding myself, what are we doing right now, which is very important.
And well, I've only known you for a short amount of time, but immediately the conversation went to not poor us, poor me, poor Trenton. Immediately it went to, well, how do we make people realize what is really happening here, the positives that are happening. So, so publicly, I just want to say thank you for that. Thank you for being a kindred spirit and someone who understands and recognizes that just what someone tells you or just what something appears is not always the true story.
Thank you.
So I've been speaking with Will Foskey. This is WIMG 1300 AM. Over the internet, WIMG1300.com. And if you're watching on television, it's WPHY, Channel 25, Mercer County, New Jersey. So, Will, recently you stepped away from hip-hop journalism. And what's the reason for that? And what do you see on your horizon immediately?
Well, I stepped away from hip-hop journalism because I realized that the hip-hop culture, which is the most influential culture on the planet, period.
Indeed.
Because people are learning how to talk. They're learning how to dress. They're learning everything from these rap records because they're jingles. You know, when people talk about, oh, don't go commercial, I mean, every song that plays on the radio is a commercial.
Exactly.
So if you're getting played on the radio, there's something in your song that people want to hear or that the label wants people to hear. So, you know, just in those type of words, I just felt like it was failing me being a journalist because my views on the hip hop culture will often get edited out, would often be like, oh, we can't say that, you know, when I know that it's probably advertising, you know, or maybe an artist might be paying into something and we can't talk about that. And I feel like, you know, with so many things being talked about on the radio, you know, drug use being promoted in these rap records, crime being promoted, you know, promiscuous nature is being promoted in these records, and it's played 15, 20 times a day, you know, on the radio. I felt it was just better for me to be able to step away and basically write my own book about it. You know, since I sat down with so many people, and I've written quite a few editorials that people love talking about why are female MCs oppressed. You know, talking about, you know, why are rappers always trying to steal your girlfriend? You know, just little small things that we don't really see on the surface, but things that I feel are very important to everyone moving forward and growing and understanding that maybe this song is just entertainment. You know, when me being a child in the early 80s, the only songs I heard, if it wasn't on Sesame Street, or it wasn't Otis Redding, I didn't hear nothing. You know, so that's how we learned. We learned our letters, we learned our numbers, we learned how to read and write from watching and listening to these shows. So if those aren't the shows our kids are watching now, what are they listening to? Now they're listening to the rap songs. If I learned my letters from rap from Sesame Street, what are they learning from rap music? You know, that's supposed to be for the adult, not necessarily the child. So I want to be able to talk about those type of things, you know, in a book to get people talking on a actual conversation that can work.
And that leads right into my next question. So you've just released a book called Poeticine, almost like medicine. All right, so explain, share with the listening audience about that.
If you're on Facebook, you can just type in Poeticine. That's Poeticine. Poeticine is poetry / medicine because like me and my co-author Ayana Wade, we will always use poetry to heal one another. No matter what was going on in our lives, we will write each other like a little 4-line or an 8-line poem to just get us back on our feet. And we started doing that on Twitter a few years ago. And people that were mutual friends of ours started retweeting those poems that we was writing to each other because they began to feel them themselves. So Poeticine is sensual, information. It's love information. It's life information, and having people feel comfortable with who they are. Mm-hmm. So that's what's the healing. The healing part is becoming more comfortable with the person that you are personally and who you are to maybe the relationship that you're in. Mm-hmm. So we felt that writing these poems and writing short stories and giving them to our fans, was very important. We've done well so far. We released the book on Valentine's Day. And, sales are doing great. We're about to do an iBooks release. So right now it's only on Amazon Kindle for people to purchase. But if people want to check out Poeticine, they can type that in on Twitter. It'll pop up. Instagram, it'll pop up. Facebook, it'll pop up. So once again, that's Poeticine for the Poeticine Book.
Fantastic. And you can also find more information, or you can get in contact with Will directly through email, Foskey, Foskey @gmail, and then Deshair, Deshair. If you Google that, you'll find information, links to Twitter, and then some of the other writings that you've done.
Yes.
And quickly, in the next 30 seconds or so, what do you foresee for the future of the city of Trenton?
Well, the future of the city of Trenton is really going to be in the hands of this current movement that we have. We have a very strong movement from arts to tech to even with rap music, for instance. But the most important part is finding our niche, not necessarily getting in each other's way, because we tend to get a little bit protective. Maybe this guy wants no, your spot is very important for you. Now we need to be able to come together and be great together, which I feel is what's really failed us in previous generations in the city. People want to save it on their own. And
there's room for us all in the mall, right?
Let us all save it together. Let's be a Justice League here in this city. That's what's real important.
Now, well, I'm going to close out with you, and I'm going to give your contact information as well as Ericka's. She had to step away from the microphone, taking care of her motherly duties. Ericka, if you have not seen the program, is a beautiful woman who's got some really good ideas about how to do some different promotions in the city of Trenton. So you look up Ericka Pressley, Pressley, and you can also find her at Pretty Business Promotions, which is on Facebook. You can probably find her on Twitter, and you can also Google that. And then Will Foskey, who's here in the studio, founder of Trenton Going Global, but you can also find him through his Google link for willie.foskey, Foskey @gmail, and you can also Google Deshair, and he's got a book that was just released on Valentine's Day, Poeticine, Poeticine, and that's available on Amazon Kindle, soon to be on iBooks. You've been listening to today, In the Public Interest on Trenton Talks, and I'm your host, Jacque Howard. This is WIMG 1300 AM, WIMG1300.com, and via television, WPHY Channel 25, Mercer County, New Jersey. And good night, friends.
In the Public Interest on Trenton Talks is a program that explores different topics that are of interest to you. In the Public Interest on Trenton Talks can be heard every Tuesday night on 1300 WIMG at 6 p.m. and 6:30 p.m. and seen on WPHY 25. This is a service of WPHY Channel 25 and the Morris Broadcasting Company.
I'm John Weber, Vice President of Lending at Roma Bank. Are you looking for a way to consolidate your debt and eliminate high credit card interest that's not tax deductible? I'd like you to consider a home equity loan from Roma Bank. Roma Bank offers extremely attractive home equity loan rates, and the interest may be tax deductible. A traditional home equity loan from Roma Bank offers the benefit of affordable fixed monthly payments. Or choose a home equity line of credit where funds can be accessed when you need them. Our loan professionals will recommend the right home equity loan for you. Apply today at any of our 24 conveniently located offices in Mercer, Burlington, Ocean, and Camden counties, or apply online at romabank.com.
For more information, visit romabank.com. That's romabank.com, or call 1-888-440-ROMA. That's 1-888-440-7662. Consult your tax advisor regarding tax deduction eligibility. Roma Bank is an equal housing lender, member FDIC.
romabank.com.
Are you an inventor? Or do you know an inventor who would like to attempt to have an invention or idea patented and submitted to industry? InventHelp, America's #1 invention company, has inventors' information you can have free. Record your invention's date of origination, plus get an informative brochure and other material of interest to new inventors from the company whose patent referral services have helped secure more than 7,000 patents. Call now, 800-619-2181. That's 800-619-2181. Even if you only have an idea for improving an existing product and don't know where to go with it, you'll want this free inventor's information. It shows how InventHelp may assist you in trying to patent your invention and submit it to industry. It's a free call, so call now. 800-619-2181. 800-619-2181. That's 800-619-2181.
Are your cable rates rising? Tired of being pushed around by your provider? It's time to push back. Cut the cable and get Dish installed with absolutely no equipment to buy. Here's the best part. Packages start at just $19.99 a month for an entire year. That's right. Call now and get Dish installed free. Plus HBO, Cinemax, Showtime, and Stars free for 3 months. If you call in right now, Dish will also throw in free HD for life. PMG Dish, a Dish authorized retailer, is waiting for your call and can have you watching TV as soon as tomorrow. Call 800-860-0436. Imagine all your favorite movies, sports, and shows in crystal clear digital quality for far less money, and you won't have to deal with the cable company anymore. At only $19.99 per month, they're practically giving it away. Call now for full details. Call 800-860-0436. That's 800-860-0436. Again, 800-860-0436. Limited time offer for prices, packages, and programming subject to change without notice. 24-month agreement required. Cancellation fees, auto pay, and paperless billing and other restrictions apply. Call for details.
Violence serves no purpose. 1300 WIMG, Ewing, Trenton.
WIMG and WPHY Channel 25 proudly presents today's